Thanks for joining us. I am with the Boston Public Schools, and I have the pleasure of thinking deeply about how we maintain strong partnerships with the corporate sector. Um, in doing that, I want to share with you what we believe our vision is. And as I was waiting to come up, I saw a lot of amazing statistics about how powerful your corporations are in growing both the city of Boston, but also the state and nationally. So we believe that our students are the leaders, scholars, entrepreneurs, advocates, and innovators of tomorrow. And that's a big thing to bite off, but it's absolutely necessary for us to have that vision in place as our North Star. There's also some amazing opportunities. I'm going to share three with you. There's probably more than 6 million, but 6 million opportunities for career pathways into the technology fields, the innovation economy. There are 5,000 plus positions just here in Massachusetts that are available. And I have more than 4,000 students graduating from the Boston Public Schools this season, right now in the next week or so. So amazing possibilities for filling all of those careers. I also think those are part of the crisis that we're facing because our students easily could step into those 5,000 roles and they could even travel nationally, internationally, and take on all of these amazing experiences, but they're not ready. There are plentiful barriers in government. We often come up with more than we need. But there are some real ones that exist just because our partnerships are not synced and they're not synergized in the way that makes this a really easy pathway for them to follow. One of them is professional development. We have very specific guidelines for the amount of time teachers can learn as they're in their professional careers, new information. You are moving at the speed of light. We can't keep up. We have students who live in a city that have a really hard time going more than a mile from their home, which is really unbelievable because this is a very small as the crow flies city to travel through. But I do have students who live in Mattapan and who have never been to the seaport, who live in Roxbury just down the street and have never been to the seaport, do not know what the Silver Line looks like. So that's a critical barrier for us to overcome. And then I have this other piece of challenge, which I think you share, which is we are not comfortable with what is uncomfortable. And I'll give you an example. When computers became the tool for classrooms, we had a lot of educators that really struggled to figure out how to integrate that into their practice. Our students had no problem with it, of course, but it makes us nervous. It makes us uncomfortable to try something new. Similarly, it's hard to think about hiring somebody who doesn't remind you of yourself. We know this. We've studied this. It's obviously an important thing to overcome because we also know that diversity is what makes our businesses successful. So we spend a lot of time in the Boston Public Schools focusing both on the vision that I shared with you, but also this other big barrier, which is the opportunity and achievement gap. And that really impacts the students of color in our district disproportionately. And I'm talking about Black and brown children who represent more than 85% of our district. And so what our office focuses on is not the academic gap, because we have really smart people who do that work very well. But we are looking at the opportunity gap here. And actually, in many ways, this conference represents exactly what is in between the space of those two words on my screen. So we have an experiment. And this just actually launched a few days ago with Vertex. I went out and I asked, and they're all probably going to be upset with me for using their logos off-brand, but I wanted to show you how everybody was able to come together at the nexus of this partnership with Hub Week. And we said to Hub Week, will you help us host multiple teach-ins across the city? Will you help us give teachers an experience they would never get in a professional development offering from the district, because we don't have that information. And Microsoft, Vertex, Houghton Mifflin, Apple, Lego Education, all stepped up to the plate and said, absolutely. Of course, we considered all the barriers in this, and we were told teachers are never going to sign up for a Saturday for 2 hours to come out and learn something new. And so we said, well, we'll just hold 25 slots. We won't try to be audacious. We'll do something kind of manageable and small. We ended up with over 100 teachers who signed up for all 5 of these experiences with maybe 2 lines of information, because at the time we just didn't know what was going to happen. So that should tell you that teachers are hungry. They want to know what you know. We also thought about what happens for students on this other side. We are so caught in the accountability systems. We are so focused on making sure that we are measuring success by standards-based evaluation. But we said, what if we think about encouraging students to go more than a mile from their home to these same experiences, and we give them credit for different kinds of mastery? What if we give them credit for being critical thinkers? What if we give them credit for being good collaborators? All of these skill sets that each of you uses in your own day-to-day profession to be successful. And so we've created an app that these students get to record their experience on, and we're calling it More Than a Mile. Pretty simple, except we couldn't do this by ourselves. And so critically in this collaboration is you. We absolutely need private sector partners to step up and say, you can't keep up with us. You're not ever going to be able to make sure that your students are graduating with the same day-to-day information that we're learning in our day-to-day career pathways. So we're going to partner with you to do this. And as you can see, my conviction is that that is the linchpin to us delivering on the vision of the Boston Public Schools. So, students are smart. Our young people are brilliant. They know when we take them on a field trip that it is just that. We are exposing them to something that they may never have access to. And until we convince them that they actually have the tools and the strategies and the entry points into those experiences, those career pathways, they will simply be field trips. And so we want them to envision their future here with you in all of your companies. I'm going to end with just a reminder of what our vision is, and hope that you think about the possibilities of partnering with us and wherever your school districts are, because we can always come up with all of the barriers, but believe it or not, our students and our educators are desperately waiting for an opportunity to learn and to know what you know. Thank you.